who's as adamant about his or her position as I am about mine, whom you think is sharp. Seriously, we know that. And another thing, we heard him say that... Hey, sports fans, welcome to edition number 53 of And Another Thing. I am your host, Larry Elder. Be sure to go to LarryElder.com, become an Eldorado. You're going to get a copy of my award-winning feature-length documentary called Michael and Me, which is an exploration of the Second Amendment. Now to episode number 53 of And Another Thing. Today's episode is about the minimum wage. President Obama, just now, in my opinion, trying to change the subject away from Obamacare, is now talking again about income inequality, and he wants to raise the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $10 an hour. And there are nationwide strikes all over the country. Fast food restaurant workers are striking not just for $10 an hour, but they want $15 an hour. Now, there is a columnist in the LA Times called Michael Hiltzik. Good guy. He's been on the show a couple of times. Left-wing guy. The reason I say good guy is he's got the stones to come on and at least defend his cockamamie columns, unlike some of the other colleagues on the left-hand side whom we've invited on our show. But Michael Hiltzik, in supporting an increase in the minimum wage, made the following claim, and I want to make sure I repeat it verbatim so as not to be unfair to Mr. Hiltzik. Quote, "The old argument against the minimum wage that it costs jobs is entirely undocumented." And he continues, entirely undocumented? Are you smoking something? Now, I didn't major in economics, but I did study it in college, and there are numerous studies on the minimum wage. Recently in California, an economist named David Newmark, who works for University of Irvine, looked at over 100 major academic studies on the minimum wage of the last 30 years. His conclusion, 85% of them found a negative association with the minimum wage. 85% of them found that the minimum wage actually hurt the very people that Obama and the left claim that they care about. Let me tell you something else. In 1987, a well-known newspaper put out an editorial, as opposed to an op-ed page. An editorial is the official opinion of the newspaper. This well-known newspaper put out an editorial that said the ideal minimum wage should be 0.00. And it mentioned that when you increase the cost of something, you will decrease the demand for it. Economics 101. I could have written it. Milton Friedman could have written it. Do you know what newspaper that appeared in? The New York Times. Really? That's why we have a free market. The market's supposed to determine that. The definition of exploitation is not getting fair market value for your wages. I was once on the Bill O'Reilly show, and I was opposing the minimum wage, and O'Reilly said something to the effect of, what is a guy with a family of four going to do with minimum wage? And I said, Bill, what is a guy with a minimum wage skills doing having a family of four? Somebody emailed me and said it looked as if Bill O'Reilly had been hit in the head with a 2x4. I wasn't trying to stump him. I was just giving him a commonsensical answer. And now for your questions. Thank you, sir. Ruth is from Signal Hill in California. Larry, you know the running joke. What do you call a person who's too stupid to get out of jury duty? Answer, a juror. My question to you is, do you think, the reason I'm laughing is because I just got a jury summons. Do you think that people actually get a fair trial in this country, considering that a lot of juries can be made up of people who may not be too bright? Well, clearly that's a problem. And it's a problem that so many people want to get out of jury duty and do get out of jury duty. It's not a lot of fun sometimes serving. You can take time out of your day depending upon who your employer is. I hope you enjoyed this small excerpt. If you want to see the full video, got to be in Eldorado. Go to my website, LarryElder.com, log in, fill out the form. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, or about the price of a mocha frappuccino latte at your favorite coffee house. As you can tell, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. See you next time.